you struggle to mix colours and patterns? Well, that is Susie's issue, and I am sure she's not alone, because I get a lot of people tell me when they're coming for a colour analysis that they struggle putting things together because they're just not sure. Now, one of the reasons is that they're working with every colour rather than colours that actually have colour properties in common, and then they actually work together. So, for example, like if you have this palette, this zesty palette, these serene colours just don't really go. I would not want to wear these colours because this is bright and warm and this is muted and cool. So the colours don't naturally go together. And you'll see the neutrals in this don't look good with the colours here, and the neutrals here don't work so well with the colours here because these are different palettes. And it's one of the reasons why I always give my clients their own palette, whatever that is. So if you were, say, dramatic, I would give you a rich as well, a little palette card, because this helps you stop making mistakes. So when you're looking at a color, it's like, does it work with, you know, the colored side, and does it work with the neutral side? Because look how different those neutrals are. Your colors will work with your neutrals. So for example, if we were looking at something that is cool like this, this dramatic works, but if I put the rich on, you'll see it doesn't harmonize. But even if I turned it over and put the neutral sides on, you'll notice that which neutrals would you want to wear with this? You'd want to wear these ones, not these ones. These ones really clash. So this is why it's as important to know your neutrals as it is to know your colors. And this is why having these tools is so useful when you are searching for colors. So the first thing is to always look at a color and go, is it in harmony with my palette? So if I was looking at this and I was either sophisticated or enigmatic, what I would notice is this color is brighter than either of these palettes, so neither of them really work. Now the sophisticated is a bit better than the enigmatic because it's cool, but again, this is too bright for these palettes, and so therefore it is not related, and I would not buy it if that was my palette. So it's understanding we're looking for the same intensity and the same undertone. We're not looking for different ones, because this is where it becomes really hard to mix and match. So that is our first thing, always going with your palette. That's why it's so useful to have a palette, to know, does it blend with what I'm wearing or does it look completely different? This is what we are after, because you will find that your colors blend really easily, and therefore you can actually mix and match things so more simply. Now, the second part of Susie's question is, I struggle to mix patterns. Do I have any tips? So when we are thinking about mixing patterns, number one, we want to have color in common. So for example, the very easiest one people do is black and white. It's very easy to mix two patterns that have black and white in them because already we have the two colors in common. So we can have these two easily could mix in an outfit should you wish to. Now, of course, pattern mixing is about personality as well. It's not everybody's personality to mix patterns, but if you're more creative or a little bit quirky or more edgy, you might want to try mixing patterns. So the first thing we want to think about is color in common. Now, what you'll notice about these two patterns though is one is more dense and it's also much more geometric. It's ordered. This is also ordered, but it is more sparse. The size of this is smaller. This is a little bit larger. So we don't want to be mixing patterns where everything is the same. We want to think about difference between the two patterns. So here we've got the green in common between these two patterns, but this is an ordered, more densely spaced pattern. This is still fairly densely spaced, but it's actually a bit more scattered. So it doesn't have the same appearance. So you could mix those two as well. Another example you could have, here we have a more sparse print, but still ordered, larger in scale. Here we have a more kind of relaxed watercolor style print. So very different style, but again, we have colors in common. So we always want to have that color element in common when we are mixing patterns. Here, for example, we have this small scale pattern and we have a larger scale pattern. It's probably more medium scale, but we have colors in common. And so therefore they can be put together. One is smaller, one is larger, but colors in common. Here is another one. So this is like a little bit more out there. I've got my leopard print. And then I have my floral. But because we've got those elements of color in common, we could put them together. So when we are thinking about even just mixing a pattern back with a solid, and this is where your color palette is so useful. Say I have a jacket in this burgundy, I could wear it with either of these prints. And this is because the color is in common with this print as it is with this print. So we have that burgundy element, and it's the same undertone and the same intensity. And so therefore, because we have that element in common, we can wear it with both. And that is where having a color palette makes your wardrobe work more easily together, because I don't have to have lots and lots of different things. I can have things that work together really easily. So they're just some little tips on mixing colors and patterns. So really having your palette really makes it easy, but also knowing what is the opposite. I really find people find this so useful that even if I was looking at, say, this, and I'm looking at the neutral side, do you notice how this neutral brown is more related to this than it is to this one? You can see the warmth in this palette card, or the yellow, and you actually say, no, this is actually a cooler background. It is more like this cooler version of a brown. So this is why such a useful little tool to have when you are shopping, to know, like, to double confirm and to check that what you are looking for is actually right. You know, virtual palettes, great, but they just don't work as well as physical palettes, and having that variety there really helps you to not make mistakes.